Hi everyone, it's Eva here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a brand new series on my channel. I asked you guys on my community tab a while back if you would be interested in learning about interior design and architecture in general, and you guys were all for it. So I decided to start this series where I'm going to talk about specific interior design styles as well as architecture styles, and I'll give you a short overview of the history, and I'll go into depth about which features you can use in your interior design to create these styles. And on top of that, I will also show you which packs and which items I personally like the best to create this style in The Sims 4. Before we get started, I just want to let you know I'm not an interior designer, I'm not an architect, I do not have any kind of education in this. This is basically me teaching myself all of these infos as well by reading obviously online articles, as well as reading about interior design in books and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, that's just a heads up. If I say anything wrong, I apologize. Do let me know in the comments. But yeah, I'm just a single individual trying to make sense of a lot of interior design knowledge in a very short video. So let's get started. So the first interior design style that we are going to have a look at is modern. I did ask you guys again in the community tab to vote for which specific build style you'd like to see in the first episode, and most of you guys voted for modern. So here we are. Modern obviously has been a very popular style for decades. Modern itself is really hard to define. It basically means the influence of modern art on interior design, but it doesn't necessarily refer to like an era or age of a design. Modern also is not contemporary designs, because contemporary designs are defined by shifting styles and trends, which modern does not have. Modern has its own trends, but they've been unchanged for several decades. Right, so a brief history of the modern interior design and architecture. Basically, the modern art movement preceded the modern design. For example, modern began with impressionists and other abstract painters. Modern interior design has its origins in the late 19th and early 20th century, but only became really popular in the 1950s and 60s. The reason why it started relatively early, so at the end of the 19th century, is because there were a lot of revolutions in technology, engineering, and building materials, and architects had the desire to break away from classic architectural structures. So at that time, Victorian and Edwardian houses were very popular. But the new motto of modernism was, everything has to be functional, and nothing is needed that isn't functional. This idea was also part of the Bauhaus school, which was founded by Walter Gropius in 1919. They built a German pavilion in 1929, which had a lot of glass, concrete, and horizontal lines. It was way too early for most of the population to get on the modern train, and it wasn't until the 1950s that modernism kind of became a thing. That's because after the Second World War, a lot of reconstruction of houses was needed. Soon after that, modernism spilled on all forms of life, from political to creative. Literature, art, music, design, everything fell under the spell of modernism. Now let's have a look at some of the characteristics of modern design. We'll start off with the exterior. Typical of modern builds are geometric shapes, for example rigid squares and rectangles, along with smooth, even curves. Curves aren't really a huge part of modern design because they belong more in the contemporary modern section. But it is possible to have perfect circles and ovals in modern build style. In general, modern houses are very simple. They're almost like box-like. They're very even and unbroken lines with flat surfaces. There are very few ornamental details. There are no heavy textures or dramatic elements. Another feature that is typical of modern are flat roofs. You'll definitely associate flat roofs immediately with modern build style. A lot of the time, modern houses can also have broad roof overhangs, and the layout of modern houses is usually very asymmetrical. A lot of glass and unadorned windows are also a big part of modern design, as well as using natural wood to kind of break up the artificial materials and shapes. Now onto the nitty-gritty of interior design. If you're ever wondering how can I recreate modern design in my own home or in my Sims house, then this part will be particularly interesting to you. To create the feeling of spaciousness, modern design often adopts open floor plans, which most of the time means the kitchen, living room, and dining room are one room and flow into each other. Basically, the principle in modern design is have as few walls as possible. It's not walls that should differentiate the rooms, but the furniture itself. Next up, modern homes are usually very minimalistic in details. There is usually not a lot of clutter or accessories. If you ever wonder where do people put their necessities and their like basic items that they use all the time, they're usually hidden in storage. On onto the color palette. So modern design usually isn't very colorful at all. The most used colors are neutrals like beige and white, and obviously black. Other neutral colors like grey or earthy tones are also possible, especially if you want to have a color accent, like for example an accent wall or a painting or a bit of furniture that is colorful, then earthy colors are perfect. Interior walls in modern builds are also usually white, so not very colorful, not many patterns at all. In general, patterns aren't very often seen in modern builds. Some other features that I found mentioned typical of modern design: bookcases and shelves are usually set into walls rather than protruding. And a big part of modern design are prints. For example, geometrical drawings and tropical motifs are often used in prints all around modern houses. And as I mentioned before, pops of color can also often occur in paintings to create a focal point. In regards to materials, chrome and stainless steel are mostly used. Stainless steel is very common in kitchens, for example, and chrome is extensively used for doorknobs, lamps, and railings. Right, so now that I've told you the basics of modern interior and exterior design, we will move on to my recommendations for which items and which packs to use in The Sims 4. Once again, I need to have a quick disclaimer here. I do not own all the packs. I'm missing a couple of packs, so I can't give any mention on those. I'm only commenting on the ones I own. My absolute favorite pack for modern builds, which may come as a surprise, is Eco Lifestyle. Mostly because of the windows and doors, they're absolutely perfect for modern build styles. There's a lot of metal involved, they're very sleek, and obviously my absolute favorite thing in this pack is the wooden wallpaper that I use on almost all of my modern builds. It's the perfect texture, and like I said before, wood is often used in modern builds to kind of break up the other features that are quite hard and harsh. And also this pack has a lot of furniture that I like using in modern builds. Next up is Spa Day. Spa Day I can absolutely recommend just for the bathroom tiles and the bathroom furniture, obviously. They're all very sleek, they've got great swatches, and they're very much kept in the modern style. But also I really love the sofas and the big fancy lights. Another pack that has a lot of items actually that work for modern build styles is City Living. There are all sorts of different furniture items that you can use from City Living and lovely, lovely modern shelves. Another pack, which is kind of the underdog of all the packs, is the Perfect Patio pack, because that is literally the perfect modern style for garden furniture and like backyard furniture. My big tip here is the kitchen counters. I absolutely love the look of these kitchen counters and I use them obsessively in my builds. Get Together is also on this list, but actually only for the fence, because the glass fence that I always use for literally every modern build is in this pack. The other items I don't really use as much, but this fence is actual goals. And then some other packs that I really like using is the Fitness Stuff Pack, just because it has beautiful walls and bathroom items. The Moschino Stuff Pack for its sofa and art. Seasons because of great bathroom items as well as garden items. Snowy Escape because of the new kitchen counters, as well as the open shower that I always use for creating walk-in showers. Other than that, you can find marble items in Dine Out, some sleek kitchen counters in Cool Kitchen Stuff, some tables and modern chairs in Get to Work, and some beautiful, beautiful doors in Get Famous. Other than that, Get Famous is not the pack for modern stuff. And surprisingly, I actually use base game items as well in modern builds. If you don't have Eco Lifestyle, for example, you can just use these massive glass windows. It also has beautiful, elegant, and simple tables, some smaller plants, and my favorite item, the Immaculate Shelf. You can do so many cool shelving ideas with this. Not just shelving, you can basically do anything with this. Right guys, that was it. That was my first episode on architecture and interior design knowledge. I really hope you enjoyed this episode on the modern build style and the modern interior design style. If you did, then please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It would really support me and I'd be super grateful. Also, do let me know in the comments down below which build style you would like me to explore in the next episode. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I personally have learned a lot from researching this topic, and I can't wait to see you on Wednesday with another speed build. Bye!